Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. I hope you're all doing so well. Welcome back to another episode of True Crime and Makeup. Today we are covering a crazy case. Yet again, when I think I've covered them all, I've not. Today's case is the case of Tamara Samsonova, also known as the Granny Ripper. She would kill people. At her ripe old age, she would mutilate, dismember and dump their body parts. And the thing that makes this case so surreal is when we picture a murderer of this type, we don't picture a sweet old lady. Like, she looks like she could be someone's gran, you know, and I mean she could be, but she genuinely just looks like this old woman who would be harmless and would be too weak to do the things that she did. This case is absolutely insane, so strap in, get a drink, get comfortable and prepare yourself. Don't forget to subscribe if you do enjoy true crime and makeup. Also put the notification bell on so you don't miss when I upload. Without any further rambling and any further ado, let's get into the case of Tamara Samsonova, the Granny Ripper. So, Tamara Mitrofanova Samsonova was born on the 5th of February 1947, although depending on where you look, some sources do say she was born on April the 25th, 1947. But when I've been doing my research, I have came to the conclusion that the 5th of February is the one that's cited the most, so I'm going to go 5th of February. Now, I am going to start naming Russian places, and I am so sorry because I just know I'm going to get this wrong, and I have a Russian audience, I know that much. So I'm so sorry for the country names, places, towns that I am going to butcher. So Tamara was born in the city of Uzyur, and this is a part of Krasnoyarsk Krai. I'm so sorry. Now, it's worth mentioning that Tamara did earn some nicknames for herself. She kind of earned many nicknames. The most popular nickname, I suppose, that she gets called is the Granny Ripper or Baba Yaga, which actually means evil old witch. Evil old witch. Yeah. And you look at this woman and she's like a sweet looking old lady. I mean, is she sweet looking? I don't know, but like she just looks like your typical old lady, not this evil old witch. So after graduating from high school, Tamara decided to move to Moscow and she went on to attend Moscow State Linguistic University. Now, after graduating university, Tamara would then move to St. Petersburg, where she would then meet Alexei Samsonova. She would meet and marry him. And in 1971, Alexei and Tamara, they would settle into their newly built apartment, number 4 Dimitrov Street. Now, Tamara would work for a period of time for the In-Tourist Travel Agency in the Grand Hotel Europe. Now, weirdly enough, Tamara only accrued 16 years of work experience before retiring. And like, I just need to know, how did she do that? I don't know if her job paid really well that she could retire so early on, or if she was just simply sponging off of other people or the government. So come 2000, Tamara and Alexei, they have been living in this apartment and been together for 30 years. And like, I was thinking, oh, happy marriage, like happy wife, happy life, love that for them. But no, no. So in that same year, the police are actually called over to Alexei and Tamara's apartment because Alexei had been reported missing. No one had seen him for ages. So they go over and they want to question Tamara, who is still living in this apartment all by herself. And she basically breaks down crying, like she's devastated because apparently Alexei had left her for another woman, took off in the middle of the night with this other woman and left Tamara all by herself. Now, the thing is, Tamara has no evidence to back up her claims. There's no evidence to say that Alexei did in fact take off, leave with this other woman and start a brand new life. So they have to kind of call around and see if they can find anyone with connections to Alexei, which they can't. But they're also thinking, this little sweet old lady has no reason to lie. This sweet little old lady, is not going to lie to us. She'll be telling us the truth. In the midst of this questioning, Tamara's becoming very upset. She's really distressed. She's saying how devastated she is. The love of her life left her. So the police feel really bad for her and they basically end the questioning. Now, come mid-2001, there is still no sign of Alexei. He's not been in contact with any family or friends since he ran away with this woman. And to this day, Alexei has still never been found. I'm aware how scary I look, by the way, but I'm really hoping that this look is just a trust the process kind of thing, because... So, after Alexei's disappearance, Tamara is having to come to terms with the fact that Alexei's gone. He's moved on, he's not coming back, and she decides that she would like to get a new roommate because she was used to living with Alexei for all those 30 years, having him around, having someone to talk to and having like companionship. Now she was feeling very lonely and very, very isolated. So she's like, I'm going to get a roommate, but I wouldn't mind having a young man about the house, someone a bit younger than me, bit eye candy. So she goes on the hunt for a new roommate. So, I mean, over time, Tamara does have quite a few roommates, but these roommates, they come and they go. Tamara is a nightmare to live with. She makes a place a very hostile living environment. Everything's a problem. She's always angry, she's aggressive. Overall, just not a very nice woman to live with or be around. And as quick as these roommates would come, they would go. Like, neighbours would say that they would hear Tamara screaming, shouting, banging and stomping around, throwing things. And then after these arguments, the roommates would be gone. They'd take off very, very suddenly, which is worth noting. So probably the most notable roommate to discuss at this point would be Tamara's roommate in 2003, and that was 44-year-old Sergei Potanavin. What kind of psychopath tries to tell a story whilst doing eyeliner? I will be right back. So Tamara and Sergei, they are living together and Tamara is being her usual nightmare self, impossible to live with. So one evening, the neighbours hear this big argument break out, and they're shouting, they're slamming, all the usual from Tamara. And then before they know it, Sergei has left the building. Sergei is no more. He's took off. He cannot put up with Tamara anymore. So now we're going to do a quick fast forward to March 2015. Tamara's about to have some renovations done in her apartment. And whilst she's getting these renovations done, she can't stay in her apartment, so she needs somewhere to live. So she goes to one of her friends, who goes to one of her friends, and she says, yeah, sure, Tamara can move in with me as long as she will help do some of the chores and also help look after me, because this woman was 79 years old. Now we will discuss Valentina Yulanova. She also lived on Dimitrov Street as well, so this was like really handy for Tamara. She was very excited to move in. Just not loving this eye, so like when in doubt, add a bit of glitter, I suppose. I think it made it worse. So yeah, Valentina, being the nice woman that she is, she allows Tamara to stay with her until her home renovations are done. Just under their agreement, she helps clean, she helps look after Valentina. Tamara's like, great, can do that, no problem whatsoever. This arrangement would last several months, and like it was okay, but it wasn't perfect. And then the sunshine would end. An argument breaks out over unwashed, dirty dishes. Tamara, you're meant to be keeping that place spick and span, and there's dirty dishes. So Valentina tells Tamara, you know, this arrangement isn't working out anymore. You're not holding up your end of the deal. You're meant to keep my place tidy and it's like a pigsty. Look at the dishes. So you're going to have to leave. Tamara's just like, no, I'm not leaving. It reminds me like the episode in Friends where Eddie won't leave Chandler's apartment in season 2 when Joey briefly moves out. It's given that kind of vibe, like she's just kind of like, don't hear you, I'm not moving out. So she's not moving out, but she does say, I need to run out for a little while and I'll be right back. So Tamara heads out and she travels to the nearby city of Pushkin, where she is going to pay a visit to a pharmacist. So Tamara's able to convince this pharmacist to give her phenazepam, right? Which is something that you can only get prescribed. You can't buy it over the counter. It is illegal to do so. But somehow she convinces the pharmacist to give it to her over-counter. Now, this drug was developed in Russia and it was made to target like neurological disorders, specifically anxiety and insomnia. It is, however, reported that nowadays this drug is quite easy to get like on the streets in Russia. It's one that's become very popular in illegal recreational drug use because apparently it gives intense feelings of euphoria, so people are getting addicted to it. And I suppose like with any other drug, this drug, if it's given at a high enough dose, can be fatal. So Tamara's really happy, she's got her drugs and she toddles off home. When she gets home, she makes an Olivier salad for Valentina. Really nice gesture after the argument. I think she's like trying to cushion the blow and, you know, patch up the old wounds. No. So she gives Valentina this salad and then she heads off to bed, right? And she wakes up in the middle of the night. It's about 2 a.m. She stumbles down to the kitchen in like a sleepy daze, like sleep still in the eyes, and she finds Valentina lying on the kitchen floor. Now, it's said at this point, Valentina is completely unconscious, but she's still breathing. Still breathing, right? Whilst Valentina is still breathing, Tamara winds up dismembering her body, so we don't know if she felt any pain or if she was completely out of it, starts dismembering her body and then takes her head in her hands and puts it in a saucepan to boil. Yeah, so Tamara ends up wrapping the remains of Valentina's body in a piece of a shower curtain. I don't know why it was just a piece. I don't know if she was trying to maintain somewhat of a shower curtain for when she showers. Don't know. But wraps her up in a shower curtain and then puts her in plastic bags. She then takes Valentina out of the house, bag by bag. This little old lady is carrying bags of human remains, right, out of the apartment. And she takes Valentina's body to a pond nearby in the neighbourhood and disposes of her. So then on July the 27th, 2015, a couple are out walking their dog and their dog becomes very interested in a pond nearby. Now, the dog goes over to the pond and it's kind of rustling about in this plastic bag, trying to get into the plastic bag to see what's there. The owners are kind of like, you know what, Rufus? What are you doing? What are you looking for, right? So they go over to the plastic bag and they find a headless and limbless torso in this bag. So they phone the police right away and the police get right on the scene. With all of this going on, one of Tamara's neighbours actually report her because they seen her carrying plastic bags out of her apartment at night time and they believed that this was the night the murder took place. Now, another report had come from a social worker who was trying to visit Valentina. Remember, she's elderly, she needs looked after, so they were dropping by to see how she was. And Tamara just outright refused entry to them. They were not allowed in. So they had to report this to the police. So the police are like, do you know what we're going to do? We're going to do like a wee head count, get everybody out at the front door, do a wee head tap, see who's here, who's not, who's unaccounted for. So they do this head count in the neighbourhood and they realise that Valentina is gone. She's not there anymore. Where is she? So the police decide to do some inquiries, you know, just to find out when was the last time anyone had seen Valentina. So they go around the neighbours and the neighbours confirm that no one has seen Valentina for days. If you see me like blink funny with just one eye, I promise I'm not winking at you, but I have in fact got a bit of glitter in my eye and I'm getting more flashbacks because one time that happened to me and I had to go to hospital because they thought I had scratched my cornea. So I'm kind of stressed right now. So police decide it's time to visit the apartment where Tamara and Valentina were both living. So Valentina's apartment, but Tamara's kind of, you know, taking over the place. Now, when they go to the door, Tamara is very welcoming. She comes across very kind and she was very much willing to help. So the police come in and they actually find traces of blood in the kitchen and the bathroom. So they confront Tamara about this, you know, like, where's the blood come from? Don't see you with a wee cut finger. And they're also saying, you know, this blood's very suspicious because Valentina's missing, no one's seen her, and suddenly there's blood in your apartment. So Tamara willingly gives herself up. She's like, yeah, I murdered Valentina and I killed 3 others as well. The police are shocked. And it turns out there would be more than 3. And it's like her attitude to blatantly and almost like sarcastically just come forward and mean like, yeah, I killed her, 3 others too. How can you be so cold? That's a poor woman, that's somebody's family that you've just murdered, and you think you don't see what you've done. So Tamara Samsonova was arrested on July the 27th of 2015, and during the police investigation they found CCTV that showed 7 separate trips that Tamara had made out of her apartment with the plastic bags to the nearby pond where she would dispose of the bags. What was in the bags? Body parts. Yeah, they also found a CCTV tape which contained footage of Tamara carrying a saucepan with the heads and hands in them. So Tamara, she starts telling the police about the argument about the dirty dishes. She said none of us wanted to do them. So she said, and I quote, "I came home and I put the full packet of phenazepam into her Olivier salad, 50 pills to be exact, and she liked it very much. I woke up at 2 a.m. and she was lying on the kitchen floor, so I started to cut her into pieces. It was very hard for me to carry her to the bathroom because she was so fat and heavy. I had to do everything at the kitchen where she was lying." You know what? It's one thing to brutally murder and mutilate somebody's body in that way, but to speak so coldly and callously about someone, saying that she was too fat and heavy to carry, is just the icing on the cake. Like, how disrespectful and awful a human being you can be, that even in someone's death and murder that you committed, you can speak about them like that. Now, upon searching the apartment, they also find Tamara's diary alongside a book of black magic and astrology, which by themselves means absolutely nothing. Anyone can be interested in that. But alongside the things that she did and the things that she would write about, it's ringing alarm bells. So her diary was written in 3 languages. She had Russian, German and English. Now the diary would contain several entries. Some of these would be everyday things about her taking her pills or how she was feeling, and then the rest would be entries of confession of murders that she's committed. Now, one of the confession entries in her diary read, "I killed my tenant, Volodoya. I cut him to pieces in the bathroom with a knife. I then put pieces of his body in plastic bags and threw them away in different parts of the Fruzensky district." Now, another entry in Tamara's diary was regarding the murder of Sergei Potanavin, the man who apparently in the beginning, if you remember, just took off and left after an argument. So Tamara basically writes that she also dismembered him after an argument had broke out between them. That argument that the neighbours heard. She had also put his dismembered body parts in plastic bags and dumped them around the neighbourhood. Now, this was confirmed because traces of Sergei's blood was found in her bathroom. Now, in between the confessions in her diary were entries like, "I slept badly," or "I skipped a meal," or "I took my medication today." Like, just these really mundane everyday tasks was like inserted in between these confessions. Now, also in her diary, they found like songs and poems that she had written, and they also found an entry about Valentina. Now, she called her Valya, and in the diary it said, "I love Valya." Now, there was also information in this diary that would lead the investigators to believe that Tamara ate her victims. She particularly liked to gouge out their lungs and then eat them. So we've got another cannibal on our hands. Honestly, the whole time I was reading and researching this case, all I could think was, how the hell is this little woman doing this? How strong is she? So I started Googling photos of her, and she's not even like, she's not muscly, she's not built, she's not tall. How? Now, throughout the 2 decades where Tamara has been murdering people, she has also been admitted to a psychiatric hospital on 3 separate occasions. And it was also believed that Tamara Samsonova had schizophrenia. Now, one of her neighbours who lived next to Tamara for 15 years, Marina Krivenko, she had said that Tamara had an obsession with Andrei Chikatilo. Now, if you've been here for a long time, you will know years ago I covered the Rostov Ripper, also Andrei Chikatilo. I covered that years ago and I deleted it because I was like, oh, I'm starting afresh. So if you guys want to see that case, let me know and I'll recover it because I feel like I could do it much better now anyway, but he was insane. He murdered, raped and mutilated 53 women and children between 1978 and 1990. Now it was reported that Tamara looked up to him and idolised him, and she actually took notes and like mental notes of the methods that he would use, and he was also a cannibal. So yeah. So Tamara's first hearing would be on the 29th of July 2015, which was 2 days after she was arrested. She openly admitted to the murder of Valentina, and in fact she was very, very calm whilst in the courtroom. Like, she wasn't overwhelmed, she was just cool as a cucumber. Now, Tamara did tell the judge, "I am guilty and I deserve punishment," to which the judge was like, "Yeah, absolutely." Now, Tamara claimed that she had been waiting 10 years for the police to come and arrest her. Like, she was expecting this any day now. The judge then proceeded to tell Tamara that she would be detained for life, and in response to this, she just smiled and like clapped her hands. Like, she was genuinely like that. Now, Tamara loved speaking to the press. She loved it. I think she felt like a little celebrity, right? This old lady was getting all this attention. She told the press that she was being haunted by a maniac in the house up above her, and this is why she committed the murders. And she also stood and like blew kisses to the press as they were taking her photos and asking her questions. Like, she was living it up. Now, Tamara was taken back to Valentina's apartment, where she would go through step by step exactly how she killed and dismembered Valentina. Now, Tamara's diary was still being reviewed, and by this point they had found confessions in relation to 10 different murders. Now, what the police decided to do is, with the information from Tamara's diary, they were going to like cross-check against people who had went missing in the area. Now, by doing this and looking at the people who were missing, they came to a conclusion that she had murdered around 21 people. Now, police also discovered that Tamara's first roommate, Vladimir, he was admitted to hospital for poisoning. Luckily, Vladimir did survive this, but of course the others weren't so lucky. Now, Tamara never ever admitted to killing her husband Alexei, but the police believe without a doubt that she absolutely did. And to be honest, I believe that as well. What do you believe? Also, the police found out that no renovations whatsoever were being conducted in Tamara's apartment. It was all a lie. She said that the reason she wanted to leave her apartment was to escape the voices in her head. I'm not being mean, but like, if the voices are in your head, leaving your apartment's not gonna... You know, your head tends to be with you wherever you go. Yeah. Now, in December of 2015, Tamara would be sent off to a psychiatric prison in Kazan. This was the Kazan Psychiatric Hospital of Special Purpose with Intensive Guarding. Now, an assessment would be conducted on Tamara at this hospital, which would deem her unfit to stand trial. Now, Judge Pavel Smirnov, he determined that Tamara would spend the rest of her life in a mental institution to get the help that she needs, but also they deemed her a danger to herself and everyone else, so she can never be released. She was also diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, and it is said that she will need intensive monitoring for the rest of her life. So everyone, that is the end of this True Crime and Makeup episode, the case of Tamara Samsonova, or as she's better known, the Granny Ripper. If you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Put the notification bell on so you don't miss when I upload, which is every Wednesday and Sunday at the moment, but I do hope to increase it over time. Down below you will find my social media handles alongside my email address if you want to email me any case suggestions. If you would like any details of the products used in my face today, they also are linked down below, so it's easy for you guys to go down and shop them if you wish. Thank you so much for all your love and support on this channel and for sending in your case suggestions. It really means so much to me. But until the next one, I'll see you later. Bye!